So, how are you when things change? Are you kind of resistant to change or are you all for change? For me, I would have thought that I was a big change proponent, someone that really liked change. But I think the older I get, the more I'm realizing I kind of like things to stay the way that they are. In fact, this past Black Friday was a big hit for me. I wasn't really a Black Friday person before I met my wife, Megan, and her family. They were huge Black Friday people. We would get up early. We would wait in the snow, the rain, the cold to be the first ones to get into these stores. And I loved it. I loved the excitement of it. I loved the lines. I loved the inconvenience of waking up super early to go and just stand in line with all of these people. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but for me, it became something that I really liked. And this past Black Friday, things have changed so much. Like, we got up a little bit early, but then when we arrived at the stores, there was no lines, there was no crowds, there was no hustle, no bustle, no fighting over toasters and microwaves. There was not even lines at the checkout. Things had changed, and I was kind of bummed about it. So I ask you all of that because here in this story in Luke chapter 22, we see Jesus sitting around the table at the Last Supper with his disciples. This is the Passover meal. This is a meal that these guys, they had done every year of their life. Their families they had grown up with families that had done this. They knew all the ins and outs of this meal. It was their tradition. They probably looked forward to it every year like I did Black Friday. But on this night, as they're sitting around the table, as they get into the meal, Jesus does something amazing. He begins to change what they knew was supposed to happen. He gets to this one part and he grabs a piece of bread. Not out of the ordinary. This is normally part of the dinner. But this time he breaks it and says, "Pass this around. This bread is my body, which is broken for you." And then I imagine every good Jewish boy and girl sitting in that room sits back and goes, "Oh, what's he saying? What does this mean? This isn't how things are supposed to be." But he says, "Take and eat this. It's my body that I'm giving for you." And then he takes the cup and they go, "Okay, okay, okay, we're back on track. The cup. Yeah, we've seen this part before." And he goes, "Yeah, this cup, this is the cup of the new covenant. We're here about the old covenant. This is the cup of the new covenant, the covenant of my grace, my blood shed for you." And in that moment, Jesus had changed everything. Jesus is sitting here showing these disciples and all those in this room that he was the true fulfillment of the Passover meal. That you wouldn't have to do the Passover anymore. There wouldn't have to be any more slaughtered lambs because he would be the lamb that would be slain once and for all, for you and for me. So when Jesus changed his tradition, he changed it for the better. And you and I, we're the recipients of that change. That because of what Jesus did, by being the true Passover lamb, by having his body broken for us and his blood shed for us, we can have our sins forgiven. We can be made into a new creation on our way to God's new and glorious creation, where we will get to spend eternity with Jesus, the one who changed the tradition, but in the best way possible.